Hey, this is Ryan,
And this is Richard.
and we're back with another game of Crystal Clans.
Yep, I think this time I'm playing Flower Clan on the right.
Yeah, and I wanted to give some love to some of the expansion clans. You don't see a lot of them online, so I'm busting out Feather Clan here.
Nice. What's Feather about?
So Feather has, their faction ability is called Soar. So you'll see in some of the, clans that come in the base box, they have something called Flying, or Flight, where you can move 2 spaces. Soar lets you move 3 spaces if the entire squad is flying.
That's crazy, yeah. And the reason this is really important is that you can actually invade all the way to the purple. So if he's on the left side, he can get all the way to the purple area from his spawn zone. But also if he's in the blue one, he can go all the way to my home base. And it's just 3 movement in a game where there's only 7 squares is gigantic.
Yeah, it's all the way across the board.
Yeah, you also have another keyword called seek on one of your guys. It's crazy.
That basically does let it move all across the board if it's empty the whole way.
Yeah. So whereas Soar and Flight can let you go over the top of other units without having to stop, that one is if there's a clear path, you can get all the way in there. So you went first, and I ended up getting a 6th card.
And it looked like I only mulliganed 1 card, so hopefully this good hand, a pretty good opening hand.
Yeah, and if you haven't played Flower Clan, they're one of the base races and their factions, and they have an ability called Sleep, which nullifies the attack value of the first unit in your squad.
Yeah, so you're probably going to see some weird plays of putting weak stuff on top of stuff to try to negate that sleep.
Yeah, and if you played against Flower, you probably know about this play. So I'm probably going to drop 2 Dandelion Knights. They cost 0, and then I'm going to send 1 to the purple, and it's cost 1, and then 1 and 2, and then I'm going to buy a crystal on turn 1. Let's get this ball rolling.
Yeah, so the Flower Clan is only one of 2 factions that exist that have a 0 cost 1 movement unit that can just, from the 2 mark going to the other 2 mark, just immediately score out a crystal.
Yeah, and I chose, even though it's not useful to me, I chose the twin, what's it called?
I think it's just the twin crystal.
The twin crystal. So that one has a special rule where you could score it if you have a guy in your opponent's home zone and your own home zone. And like we just explained with that Seek ability, I don't want him to have access to that. That can't be in the pool. If I took Song of Plagues or whatever, then he could, he has a guy in there that can't get there. But if he can move his dude and then get he's going right in. But he could use the Seek ability to get all the way to my base.
Yeah, so Direwing Cavalry has an ability called Expel, where when he goes into battle with somebody, he can take the battle to another empty space.
Yeah.
So this is immediately going into his home zone and making it difficult for him to summon units, move things out, and that sort of thing.
So here, if I didn't take that twin crystal, if you kill this Dandelion Knight, all you gotta do is drop a unit, and then you can buy the crystal right away. So I'm very glad that I did that. So turn aside combat cards here, I choose Spirit Guide.
So is this battle cards get removed from the game?
Yeah, Spirit Guide is, those are both tricky, right? So after this battle, both battle cards are removed from the game.
And it looks like we may have misplayed that.
Yeah, where'd I put the Spirit Guide? I didn't see it.
So the cool thing about Dandelion Knights is that it's not only that it costs 0 to play, it almost costs -1 to play, because when it gets destroyed, you get an initiative back.
That's right. So they're cheap to build, they're cheap to move, they're just kind of a nuisance. And their battle card's okay. It's they can gain initiative and attack, but they gain initiative either way. So playing them is nearly always a net initiative gain.
All right, so dropping the Scarlet Beak Scavengers, and the idea with this is that Scarlet Beak Scavengers, if in battle I destroy a unit, then I can put those scavengers where that unit was.
Yeah, if they were already in play.
So the hope is that, I'm in his home zone, I'm going to make it difficult for him. Ooh.
Yeah, you're just invading right away.
Yeah. Paying to mill.
Twice.
Yes.
Yeah,
so,
there goes Wisp.
So that is pretty expensive. That's 6 initiative to mill 8 cards.
Yeah, but again, just getting me... You milled one of my most powerful cards in Wisp. He's one of my heroes. He's a 1 initiative, 1/1. Doesn't seem very powerful, but he has this crazy ability where when he walks into an enemy squad zone, I get to choose a unit in that squad. They go into their home zone, and I bring Wisp back to my hand. So his whole thing is I'm just going to walk in and bounce your hero that you spent all this money on and send it back home if it's been walking across the board. So what do I got? I got Pollen Fairies and Rose Petal Dancers.
Yep, unit with Sleep, which means that the Cavalry has no attack.
Yeah, and again, I'm glad that I took that Twin Crystal because you already fulfilled the requirements. And instead of invading, you probably would have liked to just buy that crystal.
Yep.
So yeah, Pollen Fairies in the front, They're just a 2/5 with sleep, so they're very, very resilient.
Making sure you have the defense up top.
But I didn't want to spend anything to actually clear you out right now. I just wanted to get more cards on the board because I plan to replenish and then maybe fight you.
So the interesting thing here, though, is that Direwing Cavalry, because it has Soar, it can move out of that zone. It could, for instance, fly to the blue crystal zone.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm not at risk being there.
Mm-hmm.
And especially because it can move 3, it can go to any of the empty crystal zones for 1 activation cost.
That's right. Oh, is it 2? I think it's 2.
Yeah,
right?
it's 2.
Yeah. That'd be insane if they had only 1 activation.
Yeah.
But they're
For a single activation for 2 cost, yes.
Yeah, and it could be like, multiple units and things.
Razor Claw kills the
Okay. Oh, yeah.
All right, so we have Razor Claw Falconers. They their ability is as soon as you play them, you can destroy a unit that's a common unit on the battlefield with 4 defense or less. So they're kind of the just drop them and immediately kill something.
Yeah, it took out my dancers, who are like a 4/1. So my only card in hand is a Pollen Fairy. You play Whippoorwill Archer. So Pollen Fairies, I get the ability where I place my squad in an adjacent zone and spend an initiative. I think I forget to do this at first, and then I remember that I have to. And yeah, now that it's my turn, I buy a Soren's Bounty to get the replenish. So I got out of my zone like for free, basically. And then I was able to replenish and buy a crystal in the same vein. So
Yeah,
I'm
so
2
that's
crystals
really
up.
good.
Yeah. I'm like, go ahead and mill me, I don't care.
However, I didn't have to spend a card for dealing no damage to those because the archers come back to my hand.
Yeah. You're asking me for my deck size so you know whether you want to invade again. But that Dandelion Knight's putting in work, though, just holding that orange spot. And, if you spend all the time to go up there and kill it, you're just going to give me a card and give me initiative, too.
Yep.
Bitter Blessing comes out on the crystals, which I believe you get to look at my hand and discard a card, right? So that's really good.
Although along with the mill, Song of Plagues is one of the crystals that's available, which would mill you for 5.
Yeah.
So there is the chance that even milling you once and not finishing the job and eventually scoring Song of Plagues would score a crystal.
Yeah.
I want like 1 more initiative.
It's pretty strong for you to attempt that here. You could like split your stack back, try and move out the knights, control orange and blue, and then, pass to me, but we'll see.
Yeah, the Razor Claw only is 1 initiative to move. And so potentially it's going to be 2-1 to go move the Razor Claw over there, fight the Dandelion Knights.
Yeah, it's archers.
Yeah, if you had another Razor Claw, that'd be great, because then you could just bounce it out.
Oh, I'm supposed to spend initiative right
Oh, yeah, here's me remembering that, Rose Pearl Dancer, or Pollen Fairies,
with the combat card.
requires you to lose an initiative when it's tricky, so. And this initiative matters, as you'll see later.
Yeah, 1 initiative is a big deal.
Yeah.
All right, so I think what happened.
Okay, what's the play here?
Spend
So-
5. Shoe.
Shu the Mythmaker.
Yeah.
So we have 2 flying units on the board. Shu gets his cost reduced by 2. So he only costs 4 to play.
Yeah.
Pay 2.
And then
And pay 2 to move out the 1 movement.
yeah, Shu is an 8/8 with only 1 activation. He's crazy.
And going in against the sleep guys.
Yep.
And battle.
Yeah, so keeping Shu in the back line, so you get an 8/8 in the back. So that's basically the stats, like your offensive stats there.
Yeah, because Razor Claw loses all their attack due to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
See,
Pollen
oops.
Fairies are like decent on defense, but like they only have 2 attacks. So
Yeah, this might be kind of a wash. We'll see how this battle goes.
yeah, so potentially the entire Feather Clan's entire stack survives.
So
And that can be okay for me because I can initiate a fight again right after that.
Pollen Fairies.
So I'm gonna Pollen Fairies again and
So this is actually
just get my stack out of there.
Archers back to hand.
I spend the 1. I remember this time.
I'm moving home.
So only 1 true misplay in the.
Although
like, not
interestingly,
removing
that
from game
means
the other cards from the Spirit Guide.
Interestingly, though, that means that it would have been your turn,
It would have been my turn.
and now it's not.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so you can't buy a crystal. You can't do an
only-
invade action.
There's also only 1 card left in hand, and you know what it is. It's an Archer's, because it came
That's
back
right.
to hand from the battle card.
Yeah, the Whippoorwill Archers. Very
Yep.
powerful combat reveal, I think.
But that also means that if you want to fight, then you know what the battle card is.
Yeah, I know that I need to play a bold to make you discard that card, or if I play anything else, like I basically don't win unless I play a guarded.
Well, so if
but then you get the card back though.
I was gonna say, if you want the stats, then you know that
So
to not play the thing that nullifies your battle card.
That's right.
Kill my knight.
yeah.
Yeah, if I need the stats, I can't play bold.
Will die to anything.
It's a really interesting combat card, actually. And the Whippoorwill Archer's ability, Volley, is also neat because it kind of incentivizes holding on to archers in your hand. And when you attack with a squad that has them, you can reveal them from your hand. You can get +2 attack, and then like you bring them back and say, "I have these. You know, will I play it?" It's kind of like showing your opponent your option before you do it, and then baiting them into doing it. And then that's also really powerful to use the Scavengers as a combat card as well. So you just use to replenish here.
Yep. And discarding the archers, so now battle cards are fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what you have. Yeah, so now's the time to fight that cavalry finally? Probably. I mean, you have... Oh, what am I dropping? I am dropping
Menders. No,
Yeah.
Menders is great.
Yeah, Menders is a sleep unit, so it's a 3 initiative, 3/2, but it's got sleep, so it's defensive inherently, right? And it has this ability called Heal. So when one or more units in the squad are destroyed in battle, I place all the destroyed units except that one
No effect.
in my home zone. So it kind of saves my people.
Yeah, so putting Menders on top, Menders is the only unit that can possibly die in a fight.
That's right. And I play the Dandelion Knights to... I should gain an initiative here. Do I?
Can't leave my base.
No, it doesn't do anything. That's right. Because the Whippoorwill Archer's ability is if your opponent plays bold, the card does nothing. But I have to play a bold option to get rid of that card from your hand. Otherwise, you're just going to get it back.
That shit's expensive.
So now I'm deciding, can I walk in there and fight you? And my Menders will be the only thing that dies. So I think we do that. I think I got to get rid of that shoe.
Okay.
So it's only 1 to do that. And I could fight again if I come out favorable. And I'd be nerfing Shoe's attack down to 0 if he's the only unit left in the group. You do have that Scavengers, though.
I do. However, the Scavenger's ability only triggers on my turn.
Ah, so yeah, I'm negating that by being the aggressor here with the fairies.
And
Yeah,
the
so
guy
this
in
is-
front
this is
not
a
attacking,
big
so
play.
we have 8 attack in the front.
Yep.
But I want Menders in the front so that
So only got like 2 options left, but let's see what we got. Rose Petal Dancers against the Falconers.
So no buffs. Both cards just come back to hand.
Yeah, guarded,
These
guarded.
top two,
I
still-
don't take 11. I have a sleep guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
got
none of
it.
the damage. I'm
So
pretty sure
instead,
that...
And I think both stacks survive from this.
When one or more units.
No, I think that I just lose the Menders and my guys go back, but you lose the Razor Claws.
Yeah.
Goes home.
So Menders dies, Razor Claw dies,
7.
7?
Yeah,
Kills only the top one of mine.
Yeah, only top guy.
yeah. And then I bring them...
and then Pollen Fairies goes back home because it would
Yeah,
have been
that's the only one that
it
died.
would have been
That's right.
destroyed. Yeah.
That's right, that's right. But I still can't take out Shoe. He's got 8
And then,
health.
I'll spend
He is by himself though, so he has no attack as well.
Yeah, so fighting him doesn't really do much unless I have some way to
and then we will
actually hit him hard.
It's
So I haven't spent the initiative yet, but I'm about to.
No,
I'm just
I can't.
deciding if I'm going to do that or not.
No, that's probably a bad idea.
Oh,
Because
right.
then
No, it
you're
says
trapped
during my
there.
turn.
Yeah.
I can't take a guy out because of the seek threat. So
I think I just need to ball
that one.
stats
So I'm
in
just going
the.
to spend 2.
Yeah,
to
Rose
make
Petal
the
Dancers.
character
Add another 4 attack to that stack.
Yeah, it costs me
jerk if we want.
2. Yeah,
This is okay to have because it just
and I'm done. Cool. So that will be enough to at least
Not losing.
cover the 8 attack because that's 2 plus 4 plus
there's
2.
another one in there.
So,
So, yeah.
interestingly, Scarlet Beak Scavengers, usually a good card, is kind of like gumming up this home zone because it has 2 initiative to move.
Yeah, it's preventing you from being able to use your Seek and Soar units from the home zone and just get somewhere you want them to be.
Yeah, because
And-
it's also not a flying unit.
Yeah, and so the sleep is making it so you'd love to just play Shoe, like have Shoe kill that Pollen Fairy and then just bring the Scavenger up there, but the only damage you're getting out of this is from your combat cards. Unless you have some way to add like 5 attack, then it's not going to happen.
Do anything against me.
Yeah, so maybe the play is the Scavengers go up to the middle crystal zone
Oh yeah?
because the Dandelion Knights have been parked there for quite a while.
Yeah, they're doing some work there. It seems like they're not doing a whole lot, but that's extremely important that I can just threaten at any time to just go around Shoe and get to the blue one. And just keep scoring crystals. I already got 2. It's 2-0 at the moment. My deck is running low though. Song of Plagues is pretty risky or pretty dangerous for me if you were able to get in there.
You won't kill the fairy.
Especially if you can mill me, get the crystal, and then start milling again
And then you can't get scavengers up
after the fact.
Yeah, mill 8 doesn't sound like a lot, but decks in this game are only 27 cards. It's actually quite a large chunk of it. That's like a third of your deck.
Yeah, Talon Swords?
Talon Swords. So again, the with the Scavengers in there, Talon Swords has to pay 2 to move out, and then pay 1 again. Or pay the... it actually costs 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Pay 2 to then get the Seek. Because it can't Seek when it's in a squad with...
Without flyers,
With
yeah.
the Scavengers, yeah.
Okay, so now you're able to buffer the Shoe so he can do some real damage. And I'm playing Bumble Cavalry.
Not in this battle.
Yeah, I get the card back and I get a bunch of attack.
Yeah, and I also get the card back. I think I was hoping to just get the card back on the flip.
So that's
Yeah.
enough to kill the Talon
So
Sword.
I get the card back, get a bunch of damage. That does kill Shoe. Or not Shoe, the Talon Swords use placed. And I lose my
after
Pollen
battle
Fairy.
During my turn, one or more enemy units.
And now you get to Scavenger in because the Pollen Fairy died.
Yeah, now the Scavenger finally gets his value.
come and mill.
Now that I've paid an extra 2 initiative more than I would have by having him in home zone.
Yeah,
So,
that sleep is very oppressive to that idea.
yeah, so that's maybe not amazing value from the way that got played.
And then
But I feel
So
like,
still
hey,
putting a essentially like a dummy unit in front of Shoe to keep him strong.
That's correct.
So it's extremely important. I only have 1 card in hand. So maybe I play this and then I replenish. I mean, that's what I would do. I don't know what I'm going to do, but that's what I would do.
Yeah, you're...
So let's move him up.
all right. I was going to say your movement costs are all really low. So
Yeah, I move in and I don't attack, and then I am just going to play the Bumble Cavalry, wait till next turn. I like to replenish when I have a lot of initiative left over. That way, it just helps. You can actually do something with the new cards that you got, and make some big plays with those. And you're also right now, I don't really care if I top deck a combat card. I'm just gonna replenish next turn, have 5 cards starting my turn.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times you want the last action of your turn to be summon a unit.
Yeah,
Because then you draw cards, you move some stuff, and then you protect your home.
yeah.
All right. We pay 4.
Okay, and you're gonna spend a little bit to grab.
Another Razor Claw, so blow up that unit.
Yeah.
So that way,
Ouch.
yeah.
1, 2.
Yep, I send my little boys in. Cavalry can fly. So I'm not going to be able to score the 3rd crystal just yet, but I'm threatening it.
Cost another 2, and then you can't score.
Because cavalry is pretty tough. It's a 4 initiative flyer, and it's a 5/5.
Yep.
So unlike Airlock Riders, who were like a 5/1 for 2, this is like a more defensive, well-statted unit that can be really aggressive.
Fight.
Now you're tired of these
Yeah.
Dandelion Knights.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. You have to get those knights out of there.
Yeah. So I'm just wasting your time with them. And I pull Pollen Fairies.
I think so. So does that mean they move?
Yeah, Pollen Fairies is going to make...
Wait.
because I ran into that, I'm going to lose an initiative, and then I get to move the squad in adjacent
Does
zone.
it say you may?
And so I'm going to send it right to your home zone, because I'm still trying
So I have to spend it.
to just muck your ability to move. I just want you to be restricted. I want you to make a guy have to activate it, and then you can seek all the way to my home or soar over to help out Shu take out those Pollen Fairies. So Dandelion Knights being crazy annoying, backed by the Rose Petal or the what are they called? Pollen Fairy combat cards.
Although that is the main the main thing is that it gums up summoning and movement. It's not really a mill threat because it only has 1 attack.
Not at all. And yeah, you kill it, I draw a card and I get an initiative.
Yep. So in a weird way, it costs -1 to play, and it costs
Yeah.
0 cards, which
Yeah,
is
totally.
incredible.
Yeah, and if you do nothing, say you kill my Pollen Fairies and then march Shu in there and start attacking, I can start milling you back. Bumble Cavalry hits pretty hard. I could just use 2 activation to get in there, raises that stack's power to 6, and then I can just use an invade action. And now you have to deal with the Bumble Cavalry too.
2 archers.
Yep, protecting home,
With an archer.
dropping
yeah.
archers.
3 arrows.
Yeah, I'm getting cards. Let's
And-
replenish.
So the Feather Clan has 4 cards in hand still, so it's not clear what the attack stat of the archers is, because they can reveal
Yes.
other archers.
Yeah,
to potentially
that
buff.
knight is he's never attacking again. He's just waiting to die here at this point. Mother. Yeah, Mother's one of my hero units. She only costs 2. It's actually very cheap for a hero unit. She's a 3/7 with sleep, so pretty good, and has an ability called Empower, which is this unit gains 1 attack in battle for each unit in your opponent's squad. So typically that means 3, but it's worded like that way because as you saw with the Blood Clan, like you can have these really big stacks of units, and Mother can be like a
crazy
10-7
against that. Yeah.
Yeah.
To fight here.
All right, time to fight.
Let's see. I think this one I was like, wait a minute, I want to play all these cards, so I guess I'll just do a dancer. Yeah.
And adding a unit to the stack. So this is good because Shu has had a lot of trouble keeping a friend on the board to
That's right.
make sure that he can deal damage. So
Yeah. So I get that card back. The messengers goes in the bottom of the stack.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, that's bad.
Yeah. And yeah, finally, Pollen Fairies goes down. You're now controlling 2 zones.
Crystal first, but
Will you snag your
how
first
many
crystal?
do you have?
probably asking how many cards in deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Song of
Okay.
Plagues.
Yeah.
Song of Plagues.
Song of Plagues, mill for 5, which means that's a double crystal
then-
score in 1 turn.
Yep.
Then I get a crystal for free after Song of Plagues.
So let's see. Is it going to be Bitter Blessing,
Summon it to a crystal zone. You
the
control. It's actually okay.
Astral Fulcrum, which is like I've tried to get some use out of that, and I'm sure it's really great when you are playing
So I
some
think
really
I can
slow
do
units, like maybe in Leaf Clan or Stone Clan.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty tough to use. I'm playing oftentimes like Stone and
You have to reshuffle
and
and get the
Flower, so I'm not really worried about moving units around the battlefield,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
you know it's usually easy for me to do. But the Steer's Crown is a pretty strong,
Gives you a
Yeah.
+4 attack bonus.
and it's helpful against me because I'm playing Sleep Guys, and you just want to make sure that you can get enough attack just to circumvent that.
Although importantly, it's before battle cards are chosen, so that
Yeah.
way I announce that I'm gonna add 4 to the stack, and
Yeah,
then you know whether or not to throw a card or add
Yeah.
defense or whatever it is that you're looking for.
And here's me misplaying this. For some reason, I thought that you invaded my deck and then
the mill
milled
action
me
doesn't-
and then did
So I
the
bought
thing,
this
but you just
mill
bought.
for the
So I was like,
end
oh
of the
yeah, whoops.
And then
So I'm just gonna reshuffle that.
yeah, the freebie was the other one. And
So
the
I lost my
mill
Wisp guy
stopped
before
after the end.
and never got to play him, and I'm hoping now that I can draw into him eventually. That's what's cool about, you know, you get a crystal to the opponent. Now it's actually tied now, because he was able to mill me that first time and buy the Song of Plagues. But you can get your stuff back if you need to.
Let's see here.
Yeah, and you have a lot of initiative, but the board isn't too bad for either of us.
Yeah.
Both of us have a hero on the board. Both of us have decent presence, so it's, and both of us have like neither of us are like empty-handed.
Yeah,
in terms of-
I got 8 initiative, and you got a bunch of guys staring down my purple zone. So
I like this. Like you were
probably gonna try and push some of those out. Mother's a pretty solid unit to get in there. She has sleep. She can be pretty tough. Like right now, if she goes to fight, she's a 6/7 because most of the time she's gonna be a 6/7.
Bumble Cavalries.
So let's throw some stats in there. Bumble Cavalry ×2. Those guys are just 5/5s.
cost you 2.
And
and Mother's going on top.
yeah, and I don't really
Yep.
care that they're flying. I just care that they're like some
That
of
they're
the
5/5s.
fattest units in the Flower Clan army.
Yeah, Flower doesn't have a lot of like really strong statted units apart from Bumble Cavalry and apart from heroes.
Yeah, and because they're kind of like overcosted because of the fact that they happen to be flying too. So they're pretty good role players
This is a
for these guys.
nothing happened.
And I'm still threatening, like, if there's an opening. Oh, you're going for combat. Cool. So yeah, I think I can do some damage here. Because your defense is, what, 4 on the top guy, then 8 for Shu. I'm already kind of covering that. So I might be able to kill the entire stack if I do well here.
Well, actually, the top guy doesn't deal any
Back to my
damage.
hand, I got
He doesn't, but I'm looking at the defense.
Got it.
So,
Everything's dead.
yeah.
Yeah, so returns to hand. You
That's the whole stack for both.
you just lost yours, and then
Because how much attack did you have?
yeah, I had sleep in the
I got
front.
17.
So I think you
I have
thought that
sleep
you
guys.
killed
Yeah,
my
so
whole
we-
stack.
Yeah, we have to
Yeah.
redo the combat math. Let's see.
That's,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's correct. All right. So
'Cause you added
then
attack,
we take
and,
11, which
Yeah, so
is-
actually it only deals 11.
I got +1 off the battle.
Which is
card,
enough
so
to kill
you-
both Mother and like exactly a Bumble Cavalry.
Oh yeah,
you
because
did
the
12.
the combat card added +1.
Yes, +1 exactly, killing the unit. And like, if you didn't have that one, I'd have 3 Bumble Cavalry on the board, and I could stack them together and have this massive 15/15 stack that activates for 2 and has flight. So it's really, really good that you're able to kill that second one. Because I would spend 4 to send all 3 of those at your blue crystal for sure. And then I can just threaten invades after that for 15 apiece. And it'd be really tough to get them out of there.
I don't know that was a terrible trade though. Like I feel like Shu did a fair amount of work and doesn't cost a lot to activate. So
No, he's pretty solid.
yeah.
It was just the hard part of getting the scavenger up there, and then the clutch use of Swiftwind Messengers to add to the stack so you could have a sleep target, basically.
Make it happen. Get out.
Paying 1. What are you
Yeah,
paying 1
if you're
for?
fighting.
Guarded.
Guarded.
Oh, to fight the Dandelion Knights.
Yeah.
It's dead.
All right, finally getting that out there. You get your 1 initiative in your card.
Yep. So I drew a spirit guide.
And
Yeah, finally got them out of there. Got 5/5 sitting on both stacks, so I'm looking pretty good here.
they have flight, which matters.
Yeah, it's going to be like my home base is wide open. This is one thing you got to worry about when you play against Feathers, that if they play a Seek unit or their Seek hero, actually, it's super easy for him to just march all the way to your base. And if you have any initiative left over, you can start milling right away.
Yep.
3
3 and another Dire Wing Cavalry, so another soar unit.
Dive bomb.
Yeah, the sword unit that can move the fight out of where they need it to be. It's pretty brutal. Like, we're both like kind of movement combat trick kind of
Right.
factions here. A little bit more heavy on the Flower Clan side, but you're more so like invasive and you know, just getting to where you need to be so you can initiate strong combats. Whereas I'm trying to like avoid combats and make sure that your stacks are weak. I'm buying Crystal. Let's get a Bitter Blessing. I get to peek at your hand and I get to
Force a discard.
dump something.
I don't want you
So
to
I
have-
see the
And there's
Falconer.
the Talon Swords, which is the Seek unit, but probably it's better
I
to...
gotta get rid of that.
Yeah.
Even though I don't have anything on the board that can actually snipe it, a lot of things in my deck are snipeable by the Falconers.
Yeah, one of the big ones being Menders.
Must
Yes.
expel a Bumble Cavalry.
Menders, Rose Petal, Wisp.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
want to lose
I
Wisp.
think it only hits commons.
There's only hit commons? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But it will kill Dandelion Knights and Spirit Guide, and like most of my deck dies to it. And it's just a good tempo play, and I gotta,
All right, discarding the Talon Swords to draw 5.
yeah. Kind of encouraging you to replenish there with that purchase.
And again, the archers don't have flight, so this
Yeah.
this home zone unit is kind of gumming up the works again, not allowing this. So
Yeah.
I had to pay 4 to move that.
7
Yeah, my Dandelion Knight did some work there, just to waste your time.
But you at least have combat options. So
Yeah, this is at least real.
So I got a Spirit Guide, got another Rose Petal Dancer,
And I see Menders.
and Menders in the hand.
okay.
So I want to keep the Menders around, but you know, sometimes.
Trying to get the card back. Let's see, do you get it?
I do get it back, yeah. Guarded versus Bold. So you add it to the stack,
Yep.
and then I think those two die, but then he lives.
Yeah, you get to have it do there.
And yeah, Cavalry to the discard pile.
Yep, and adding the unit to the stack means that I still have some ground there.
Yes.
What's your deck size?
So yeah, and I'm looking at 3 crystals right now, and
7.
Okay.
yeah, your deck's pretty good still. I'm like seeing if I
So
could spend
2,
2 and 2 again to go into your base and invade for 5, but you have 8 cards in there, and that's like, that's really scary, because if I do that entire turn and then you just purchase the Wind's Wish,
I can put cards back in.
yeah, so that makes it harder for me to mill you, and then you still have 2 guys just parked on there, and now do I have enough initiative or time to like expel one without you being able to just, you know, play a guy, seek all the way to the other crystal and then take it? So this is like a really scary decision for me here. I have to really worry about whether or not like you can just cheat movement all the way to my home base, cheat into the purple zone if I leave it, and just have too much control and just buy back-to-back crystals and win the game. And any combat I try here, you still have the Mysterious Crown, so you're able to
Boost the attack by 4, even if you have a sleep unit or something that nullifies the attack.
yeah. So if I move the Bumble Cavalry into a zone and try to do a fight, maybe it just dies, and then you still hang on to the board. So a lot to think about here on this turn. I only have 3 initiative too, so.
I mean, they're both 3 attack. The math isn't like that much better.
So looking at Spirit Guide. So Spirit Guide's a really interesting card. He or it. It's a 1 initiative 0/2, but the stats aren't what's important. What's important is its ability Unbind. When the squad enters an enemy squad zone, you remove the unit from the game, and your opponent must choose a unit from their squad to remove from the game. So if it walks into a zone where there's only one other unit, like both just disappear. So it's like this super bounce. We messed up earlier with the combat. I think we were supposed to get rid of both cards that we played when I played it as a combat card, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna fight. And
And the unit that's there is pretty weak. It's a 3/1, so probably flip Steer's Crown here to guarantee the trade.
yeah. And maybe I have a defensive card. I do have the Rose Petal Dancers, which if the guarded works, then I end up getting +5 shield, or get the card back. So both are kind of decent options. Kind of okay with either one happening. And oftentimes it's how you play the combat in this game. Is like, which is it?
+4.
Is
Yeah,
it actually really bad for me if I lose this? But
Yeah, there's the Steer's Crown.
yeah. I don't think I changed my option here. I think I still need that 5. And guarded. I get the card back, but you get some bonus.
I get bonus attack, which is not that I need it, but
Yeah, it's +5.
Yep.
So it would have been my whole health anyway. But there goes the Bumble Cavalry.
Then,
And I still got a card, or I still got initiative. So I think I'm playing the Spirit Guides. Aggressively statted Razor Petal is also pretty cool too, or Rose Petal Dancers, because they have sleep. So being a 4/1 is totally fine for a unit that can nerf the attack value of the enemy unit. I'm protecting the Spirit Guide behind it just in case, but they activate for the same amount, so it's kind of okay. Oh no, they don't actually. Spirit Guide costs 2.
2, yeah.
But I'm still trying to get cards out of my hand.
if I had a way to move.
And you can always reorder when you move.
Yeah, it's when my squad.
So you can, you're checking the
Yeah,
wording on
reading
that.
the card.
So I can reorder before I play it, and then if I walk all the way up with that stack, more so I think the idea was I'm going to spend 2 to walk them to the purple one, and then I'm going to send the Spirit Guide on his own
Yeah, and it costs
to either zone. If you put things in the orange one, I can send him in there and remove it.
1/1, still not enough.
Yeah. So there's some tricky initiative uses with activation
Yeah, you
to kind of cheat. Can cheat a combat like you were saying. If you move a 1 activation guy into a stack that has a 3, you get to fight
Without paying the 3. Yeah.
without paying the 3 like you normally would.
So that all my cavalry and my
So looking at my discard pile here.
all my Bumble cavalries are gone.
And counting initiative, so
But-
there's
Yeah.
wondering what the options are here.
All right.
Yeah, because I think you'd really like to go and buy another crystal, at least set up.
Paying 3 for Horus the Finder. This is the hero who has Seek,
Yep.
who can move and go 1/1/1/1/1.
Yeah.
2/1/1. 1 score.
So you're counting.
Right.
If you lose the game immediately, which you would,
Send.
if you tried that play.
Yeah, I can't play another unit. I have to I
Yeah.
have to do the Seek and move.
Yeah, because all I
So-
got to do here with this is spend 2 to move the Spirit Guide up, and then 1 or 2 again, and then 1 more, and then I can buy it. So
So I
3
think
initiative is enough.
I think the play here has to be to move Horus the Finder into your home zone.
yeah, just to lock them down and make sure they can't move.
Yeah, I
I
think.
mean, she has sleep, so he's not gonna do anything, but he's still gonna mess with me and make sure that I can't.
Yeah, I think that's the only way to make it so that you can't move
That's right.
Or move
is
Horus into
go
the-
into home zone and then don't battle.
Yeah, or if you just give me 1 more initiative somehow and put me to 2, which can be hard for some of these factions. Like if you don't have a thing that moves for 1 or
Or that plays for
plays
one.
for 1, then you might be giving too much up. But when you try to do anything,
So they don't actually have
even just replenish always costs 3,
Yeah,
which is the most expensive.
putting
thing.
somebody at exactly the 2 mark is a really great thing if you can manage it.
Yeah, so Seek
Yeah.
all the way in.
Let me fix my
And
seat.
then
Yep. So I gotta deal with him. He's got no attack right now because of the
am I
dancers, but
fighting you?
that's not what he's there for.
Yeah, that's just to gum up your summoning and your movement guarantee that you can.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
Oh, you do fight.
Oh.
Trying to get my hand milled or
So it's
something.
on the bottom of the squad. So you still
Keep the card.
oh,
Oh,
it's
that's
adding
right.
the units.
Yeah, you wanted to add a unit so that next time you could actually activate his power, or he has attack at all.
Shit.
Excellent.
So they die.
And they actually,
Oh.
Wait, how much defense was that?
I made
Rose
that.
Petal's only 1 and the Spirit Guide's only 2.
Yeah, they take 3.
They take 3 and they die.
They take 3 from the unit underneath.
Yeah, so even though he's slept out and he's doing 0 damage, that still was adding 3 to the back of the stack. And that happens.
That's amazing that
regardless.
works.
That happens regardless of whether or not you win the combat either. It just works that way.
Oh man.
Yeah, so both sides of the battle card are to add it to the bottom, so you get a guaranteed outcome.
That's right. And now I'm looking at you attacking my base again
Just whatever you
and trying to mill me out for a free crystal again. And I can't handle that because you still have control the blue one. You might be able to send something easily, like some soar unit, either to the purple or the orange one. So I'm looking bad right now. You can see Wisp in my hand. I finally drew him.
These Swiftwind messengers that
After having him get milled on like turn 2 or 3 in the first cycle there.
they're really good.
That was really helpful.
Yeah.
Did I stop that?
But now that you have stuff in your... So Wisp's ability requires you to move into somebody.
Yeah, so just summoning him at home, he's kind of useless. He's just going to get killed.
Okay.
But he does have a really powerful combat option. So it's a tricky option. If you run into a bold, you get both players immediately place their squads in their home zones, which is really great because at least for a turn, will move that entire unit back and out and let me move my units out too.
Yeah, it's a little less good against Feather Clan because for activating once, he can move all the way back.
Yeah, but if my units are locked in and I have to find it, I only got 1 crystal to go. So if all I got to do is play some really strong opening play here, you know, and just control 2 zones and win. That's like my idea here. So double Pollen Fairies comes out. That's expensive for me to do. I have to get something there so that he can't kill it and then like double invade. So it might take multiple attacks to do.
Okay.
So probably a replenish happens here?
Soaring.
No, okay.
Oh.
Pay 2. Move them here.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, just immediate score.
Reorder this.
Oh, activation.
You're gonna
Okay.
fight, yeah.
Yeah.
Fight before you get before you buy the crystal.
And do the reorder first so you get maximum stats out of it?
That's right. What are the stats of your hero?
Oh, it's just a reorder. It's not there.
Oh, you're not fighting. You don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to fight me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so just paying the reorder so that the attack stats are high, and then buying the defense crystal.
Alright.
Yeah, just to try to keep them there. So if I play another unit and then attack you, you might have a chance of surviving and then just staying. What you want to do is you want to make sure I cannot push you off the blue and the orange crystal zones, because if this play doesn't get me something, you're just gonna buy without having to do anything.
Yeah, so you're on the 8 initiative mark, but you have to take one of the crystals back in that time.
We choose to fight, and I'd throw out the Wisp. So I actually wanted this outcome. So I ran the tricky side into the guarded, and what this means is like I have to move my unit
That's really
out
good for you.
to an adjacent zone, my squad. So they're gonna move out there.
And that's what's going to save you here. Yeah.
Yes. I'm spending 3 to go all the way home. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, a double invade action to mill you out almost nearly exactly. Take the last crystal and win.
And that's game.
Yeah, so the Wisp was either, there are 2 options there. Either the left side of the card, if he played a bold action, I would have pushed his whole squad back home. And then I would have used them, yeah, so I'm explaining, I would have used my guys to go fight that cavalry. Is it Direwing Cavalry?
Yeah.
I would try to kill that, and then I had a Dandelion Knight in hand, so it's very easy for me to to pay 0, drop it on the board, move it to that purple zone, and buy the last crystal. So I had a couple options there, but Wisp really saved me there.
I walk them in and fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's me showing the plays. Bam, there it is. So pretty, man.
That was really clutch, though. That was...
Yeah.
And then I had
And like you started off with a really strong mill, and I had to just keep on protecting against that. But I think maybe the strongest play I made the entire game was getting that Dandelion Knight all the way into your home zone, because it forced you to place like a Whippoorwill Archer there and try to get him out, and then that just mucked up your area, so you couldn't soar and seek as well as
And
you
also,
liked.
it just meant you spent nothing to hold one of the crystal zones for quite a while.
Yeah, holding
So-
the orange one was pretty great.
Yomi, like you keep losing and you're like, why don't
So yeah, GG. We'll see you guys for the next video.
All right,
It was like
see ya.
so ridiculous that I was losing.